Hi, I'm Thomas Chase Jones, and I've gotten tons of emails from people that want to play the guitar, want to develop their speed, their accuracy, and want to know how to warm up because they first sit down on the guitar. Maybe they were playing for 4 hours the day before and their hands felt pretty good and they were all excited and they pick the guitar up in the morning and it just, it doesn't feel right, you know. So I'm not naturally gifted with a lot of speed on the guitar, so I wanted to figure out a method to practice that would sort of handle both hands, because I like to use my fingers a lot when I'm playing, and get all the fingers, and at the same time help me understand the guitar neck. So I was doing a bunch of things at the same time. So the first thing is you're going to have to use a metronome. So we're going to get a metronome, and I have one rigged up here. I'm just going to hit the on button, and it's at 75 beats per minute. So this is 75 beats per minute. And the exercise I'm going to teach you is a universal exercise. And you basically, if you do this every day, and you turn the metronome up one tick each day. So today we're going to practice at 75. Tomorrow it's going to be 76. And the next day it's 77. It's just one tick every day. But you do the full exercise. By the time a month has gone by, or 45 days, you'll be at 120 and your chops will be significant. Okay? So I'm going to play just eighth notes to this and give you an exercise that is universally used by piano players, but they do it in both hands. So what we're going to do is, since we're using both hands, because it takes this hand and this hand to make one note on the guitar, it's going to help us coordinate both hands. So this is the exercise, and I'll go through the whole exercise and then explain to you what it is. It's going to start in G. Now we're ending in A flat, so we've moved up one fret. So you start in G and you move all the way up to the octave G, doing this at 75 beats, and using, if you're going to develop your right hand, you do this on your first finger and your thumb. So there's a technique that we showed you before on using your first finger and your thumb, kind of like a pick, but you can also pluck. The main thing is to try to be clean and articulated. So we're in G now. Now we're G minor. This is the seventh. This is the dominant of A flat. This is like E flat seventh. Now A flat, and the same thing over again in A flat. Now we're going to A, so this is an E seventh dominant. A. Okay, so with the metronome, just quarter notes now, so you can see what the notes are. This is the seventh. We're getting ready to go to A flat now. And the cycle starts all over again. Now we're in A flat. So if you have etc. All the way till you get to the octave G, which will be there. Okay? Then that's on the lowest set of strings. Then I want you to go back and just go up to the C note, and you're going to do the same exact exercise, but you're going to use these two fingers. So we've exercised the thumb and the first finger, but now we're doing this, and we're also in a new key on a different set of strings. So it's going to be... Same thing all the way up the neck. After you do that one, then you're going to jump up to the next set of strings, and you're going to use this finger and this finger, these two fingers. So now this finger is always the weak one. So you got to really focus on how that hits the string. It kind of lays in a little different place on the guitar. So so you're going to do that, and then you'll go to the next set and the next set of strings. It's the same deal, and you want to switch your fingers up. So you start off with these two on your right hand, thumb in your first, then these two, and then these two, and then you go back to the thumb and the first, and you just kind of rotate them, but you want those different sets. If you want to practice with a pick, then you would include that. With the higher strings, the pattern changes when you get up here, of course, because of the tuning of the guitar. So this is the pattern up higher. Remember, we start off on G, then we go to C, now we're going to F, then we're on B flat now here. So if this sounds like this. Same thing, all the way up the neck. So that's the basic exercise. Then what I want you to do is you're going to, instead of playing straight notes, let's say you're starting at 16th notes, which, you know, be... All right, I want you to play the first and last two 16ths. So in other words, it's an 8th and 2 16th notes in the same lesson. So it's... all the way up the neck till you get that. Then I want you to play the first 2 16ths and the last 8th. So that'll be... Now the next exercise, you're going to play the first and the last 16th of each note. So to help you in your head, when I first got started, I'd take the tempo and I'd think in my head, I go 1, 2, da, 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 da. So the 16th, there's 4 at each one. You're going to play the first, so it's da. That's it. The other way to practice, though, is the triplet. So you want to develop triplet feels at the same time. So what we're going to do is play eighth note triplets in this, and you play the exercise until it turns around, and you can feel it in your hand. I'll show you. So it's that's the turnaround. You land on the note you started. So same thing. So what you want to do is practice all those rhythms, and what that'll do is start breaking down the beat for you in your head. You'll start to get the feel of the 16ths, and also every day you're going to go up one tick. So you start off at 75 beats per minute, and the second day of practice you're going to go to 76. It won't be detectable. You'll be able to play it. It's just very slow. All you need to do is concentrate on being accurate, clean, and precise with your fingering. Try to get as good a tone as you can when you're playing and practicing at the slower tempos, because they're harder to get at the faster tempos. It'll separate you from a lot of guys that just can play fast, but they don't necessarily have a great tone. Actually, there's more irritating guitar players than there are wonderful guitar players. So that's the exercise, and we'll just call it our first guitar exercise for warm-ups. That's how you warm up. You might not make it through the whole cycle. A really good warm-up on the guitar should take you 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, just figure it out. Sit down and just commit to that, because at the end of that time, your hands will feel good, and then you want to practice. And wanting to practice is half the battle. Had to get rid of that. If your hands feel good, you can't wait to pick up the guitar again. If your hands feel lousy, it's like, I don't know, I just had a beer, I'm watching TV, I don't know if I practice, And don't practice in front of the TV with your guitar. Guitar players think as long as their hands are moving, they could, maybe you could get some speed, but you're not going to learn anything because you're watching the TV. You're just rote. You really need to think about the guitar when you're playing it. And right now, we're just in the beginning. I get a lot of emails and questions on how to practice with guitar. This is just the first little hint on how to get started. We're going to have a full lesson on how to use the metronome, how to turn it around so the metronome isn't really beating 4 beats. It's just like a snare. It's keeping 2 and 4, and you're forced to keep 1 and 3, the first and third beat of a bar, and let the metronome beat 2 and 4. That gives you a backbeat. And there's ways to use the metronome that it's kind of a lost art, because now we have a lot of technology that sort of fills in some of the gaps. But we're going to be like the frogs in the water with this tempo thing. It's going to start at 75 beats per minute, and then the next day it's going to go to 76, and it's going to get faster every day, but you won't even feel it. It's just like the frog doesn't feel he's getting boiled to death, because it's just kind of slowly getting warm, and it really feels great, and then he falls asleep and he's done. For those of you who like really good frogs' legs. The guitar, we're going to sneak up on it. You'll get your chops together over a period of time. But if you don't have a method, it's going to take you twice as much time. So this is a method. Use it. And the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to get better. And at the end of it, you're going to say, wow, I can just keep going that. Maybe after 45 days, I'm at 120. I'll keep going. I'll get up to 160 on the metronome. I'll have lightning fast, accurate, clean chops on the guitar. So I hope this gave you a few little secrets and a nice warm-up pattern to play, and how to think about it from sets of strings on the guitar, starting on the G, then going to the C, and then going to the F, then the B flat. And if you want to go to the high string, you can go up to the D then. So now you're on the high, the top 2 strings. So you really have like 6 places, 7 places to play that stuff. And break up this hand if you want to be one of those type of guitar players that uses their fingers, you know, start breaking up your teams. We'll have full lessons on how to think in terms of teams on the right hand in the theory course on guitar, because the theory course on guitar is really teaching music theory on the guitar. Just like piano players and orchestrators get, there's ways to think on the guitar that aren't the block method that most guitar players have grown up with, just kind of learning some chords. We'll actually be thinking lines, and that's all coming. So I appreciate your time and effort. I hope you learned something today, and please feel free to email me with any of your questions. I will get back to you. Thanks a lot.